At this time, we'll call the Tuesday, June 15th, 2021 meeting of the Jackson County Board of Supervisors to order. Larry McDevitt, Mike Steinus, and myself, Jack Willie, are the county supervisors. We have Lisa Smith and Bjorn Beck from the auditor's office, and Luann Goki, our administrative assistant. And as usual, our first item on the agenda is David Pryor, our Jackson County engineer. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. So we have two right-of-way utility permits. The first permit is from Kudela Electric for doing work in Richmond Township on the Bellevue Cascade Road, installing fiber optic and underground electric. Recommend approval of that permit.
So moved. Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
And then the second permit is for Andrew Telephone Company extending its fiber optic lines at Highway 62 and Rockdale Road to just short of the river. They're working with IDOT on their sections. Recommend approval of this permit.
These utilities, now, we've talked about this before, but they're not going in the road itself. They're going in the right of way.
Correct. In the
Yeah.
ditches, shoulders.
Yeah.
They may cross
Yeah.
underneath the road.
Move to approve. Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the permit for Andrew Telephone All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
Last week, we had the rural county transportation planning or program grants, the RCTP projects. We approved Preston and Bellevue's, and we deferred miles. They needed to, do some checking on changing their storm drainage pipe sizes. They've done that. They've upsized the pipes to 15-inch, so we recommend approval of that. We'll let the ECIA know, and then they can proceed with the process of providing them their grant funding for the drainage project on Adams Street.
How much is that?
Did you,
It was
25,
it was a $24,000.
24,780, so,
Something
yeah.
like that, but it was a 40,000, 30,000. I have that number if you want me to go get it.
It was,
I want to say 24,472.
Yeah, it was.
Something like that.
I just want to make sure that I get it in the minutes.
right. Yeah, it was in this last one that they sent too. I have it here.
Yeah,
There was a carryover of 4,000 and something, so 25 and 25. Sorry about that, Joe.
He doesn't need that knee anyway.
I was just hit.
So the grant would be for $24,482 for mine.
24,482.
Correct.
So did you have a chance to go down there, David? I mean, by the pictures, I didn't run
Yes.
down there, but the pictures look like they really had some drainage issues there.
Yeah, the
There was no
road,
curb and gutter there either, was there?
no curb and gutter.
No, it's just the
It's,
roadway and then the,
Yeah, the developer should not have done that, but they did. It just basically didn't drain. It was kind of a shallow spot in the center of the roadway.
And your best conclusion, this is gonna help them out. isn't it? Yeah.
should.
I would move to approve that project.
Second. A motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
We got to approve the contract for LP gas with AgVantage. The price per gallon is $1.229. Review those bids previously. Last year's price was 89 cents per gallon.
Do we have an amount that we can do for that? By the sounds of things, we better approve it pretty quick.
That's probably not a bad
I was
idea.
talking to my supplier the other day, and he said,
It's too bad they don't open the Canadian oil lines.
talking about it up in Minnesota again this morning, I read in the paper.
It's crazy.
I would
Motion to approve it.
second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the contract for the LP gas with AgVantage. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried.
And the last item is beginning of the process for installing no parking signs on oh, 98th Street. And let's see, 94 98th Street there, through the from Caves Road to the beginning of county property in the Caves Park. You know, as we previously discussed, the ranger came in and said they were having issues with people parking along the side of the road there. So we want to begin the public hearing process that Luann would get the notices in the newspaper for an ordinance change for installing the no parking signs here. So essentially, it's approving the beginning of the process, right, Luann?
We're gonna set a public hearing date for June 29th.
Okay.
Okay.
A lot of work for no parking signs.
And do we have, that drawn up what it's gonna say or what?
It'll just be, you know,
Yeah.
P's with the red slash through. Pretty
Or you mean
simple.
or you mean the ordinance, Mike?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we have some language drafted up. I can look for it, and I don't have a copy of it here. Like,
So
email you a
basically
copy.
what we're doing here now is just
Setting the public hearing.
moving forward, yeah, just have an action on moving forward with, yeah.
Correct,
Are we setting the public hearing then?
yes.
For
Yes, we're
June?
setting the date, June
6:29.
29th, 9 AM.
I would make a motion to approve the implementation of the restrictions and to move at the public hearing for June 29th.
A motion and a second to set the public hearing for the ordinance at 9 AM on June 29th. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried.
Okay, that's on your place. Is that the same? Is that just a duplicate?
It's the same as what's under mine.
One's 98th Street, and one's 94th.
Oh,
Avenue.
okay.
Well, there's two, those are the two streets involved,
yeah.
so.
So do we have to do it again for 94th or is that included in it?
I think that's included in it.
We talked to Sarah and I believe we put together in one ordinance, correct, Dave?
Yes. That's all I have for
Okay,
items.
thank you. Are there any visitors or citizens that wish to address the board at this time? Hearing or seeing no comment, we'll move on to Marty, who's not here, so we'll move on to Lisa.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This morning, I need a motion to approve the minutes of the June 9th, 2021 board proceedings as written by Auditor Smith and authorized publication in the official newspapers.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the minutes of June 9th meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Motion needed to accept, and place on file the Veterans Affairs Commission meeting minutes for the June 9th, 2021 meeting.
Move to approve.
Second. Motion and a second to approve the Veterans Affairs Commission meeting minutes. All those in favor? Motion carried.
This is at the request of County Treasurer Beth Gerlach. She would like a motion to approve resolution number 817-06-15-2021, abating a mobile home building on leased land, property taxes for Paul Potter for $306.
Okay, so how does this work?
They took
We're
the
gonna-
trailer disappeared and the tax was on the trailer. So that's what's going on. Their mobile home was on
We're
it.
not abating the trailer, we're just abating the tax.
We're just abating the taxes.
And that's why, because there's no longer a trailer there, so the taxes aren't due.
So are we still charging taxes on the property?
Probably.
On the property, yes. On the mobile home, no.
I didn't know that we charge taxes on mobile homes. I thought that was a license fee or something.
They changed that.
Depends on where it's sitting.
Yeah.
Trailers that are in mobile home parks are paid a license. fee.
They're like a resident, a regular
Yes.
resident.
Right. But when they become out in the county, then they become either they're on the property and they're assessed with the property, or if it's sitting on someone else's land, the property is assessed and taxes are paid by the property owner, but the trailer is then assessed to whoever owns the trailer.
Okay.
Well, it's pretty tough to charge taxes on something that's not there.
That's very
Exactly.
true. Or tried kind of hard to try to find where it went.
Yeah.
Yes. I would move to approve resolution as presented.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carried. I want to go back to the Veterans Affairs at the minutes. I guess I'm a little bit concerned. Two of the Veterans Affairs commissioners were not there. And my understanding is that one of the Veterans Affairs commissioners works days and cannot go to a 1 o'clock meeting. Is there a specific reason why they changed the meeting so that they are during the daytime? Do we know?
I do not know.
I know that it got brought up that they were trying to accommodate others that were on the board also. So I don't know. I mean,
But
when
most of them are older and they are not working.
Yeah.
And one of them that is younger is working and can't get there during the daytime.
I remember that when I used to go to a few of them, they were at night, they were 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night in different towns, miles.
Yeah, they used to go to the VFWs in the
Yeah.
various communities.
Yeah,
I think we need to talk with Deb about that and see if something can't be worked out that at least every other meeting or something, because,
But
I
it
know
looks to me
that
like, Jack, they did
consist-
discuss it.
huh?
They did discuss it. It's
Sure.
part of the new business.
they
But
did, and they went ahead and said that they were gonna go for a new member, is that correct?
We'll look at it in July, they're gonna do it at 4 o'clock. So it looks
Here.
like, so when John Pidlow came in, they talked about their attendance policy. It looks like they're gonna start that July 1st. And they've moved their meetings now to 4 o'clock.
So I wonder, most employers will leave you do veterans. I mean, if you're called to duty,
Yeah,
and I don't know if you're as a volunteer on the board, if that would count, but
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
And it's tough for somebody.
Obviously, having just got this, I hadn't read
Yeah,
the whole
no.
thing.
Yeah, no.
And so that does say next meeting Wednesday, July 14th at 4 PM.
Well, we can certainly see how that works out for them,
Yeah.
I guess, going forward, but
Yeah.
maybe we should just talk to Deb anyway and just have a conversation. Or one of us can call her and say, yeah.
Okay, we'll
Yeah.
proceed.
I see where that's, could be an issue too with taking off work. I mean, it's not only if you're taking off work or they and your employer might not like it, but again, it's a deduction in pay. If he's taking off a couple hours, it's a couple hours.
or if he's on first shift, he should be off at 3 or 3:30, so
Yeah.
4 o'clock should work.
That's another item under yours that isn't here. I know you said you listened in or you went to Des Moines last week and some of us listened into some other things and, I read in the paper, I had Luann send it to you and to Lisa about the stimulus or the recovery funds that each county is getting. And I believe when I talked to Lisa yesterday, she said at our ISAC fall meeting in August, there's going to be a session on that. But I don't know how we want to proceed. I know Dubuque County is asking all of their elected officials and department heads to look at possible, they're putting together some kind of an application. They can apply for some of those funds. I don't know what we want to do, if we want to wait till after August? Because I really don't think any of us really know
I don't think anybody.
how that money can actually be spent. And maybe after we have our August meeting in Des Moines, we'll get some further input. Of course, we didn't get to listen to Jamie last week because we were having our supervisors meeting, but I also was told they didn't learn much from it.
Oh,
And so I don't know.
I think them sessions were recorded too, right? I
They
went- I
were.
kept that
They
one,
were.
but I don't, yeah, I didn't have time to go. It was kind of a lazy week.
I think with a room full of auditors last Friday at the meeting that I attended, and in the auditors that I talked to, there was not one auditor that they had a plan. Nobody of anybody that I talked to knew what they were going to do with their money. It was actually kind of odd when you're talking to big counties and little counties and medium counties. Nobody had an idea of how they're gonna spend their money at all.
Or how
Some
they
had-
could,
Right.
or how
no.
they could spend, it's
Again,
the
and
big
we-
thing.
Yeah, I think we're still into that big question mark. We still don't know what we can spend the money on. So I know that there was several counties that had formed committees, and I know one county that I talked to, they were going to do something with rural water. That's how they were going to put in. Someone else had talked about assisting with some rural broadband. But nobody really had a clear plan as far as what they were going to
So
do.
again, the broadband thing, I would think we would qualify to get it from here to out there. Somehow, that's still
Yeah, that should fall into that. I would think.
into that.
I just don't want us to spend X amount of dollars on doing that.
Well,
And all of a
and
sudden
I-
the government's saying, nah, that didn't really qualify.
I don't know how we can go along. I know it was a debate within Dubuque County there too, that they wanted public input. Well, one said yeah, one said no, whatever it was, but.
Yeah.
That gets kind of, certainly respect the public's input and how do you divide it up? I know the Economic Alliance has got, had asked some questions and of course, what kind of businesses are we gonna help and what are we gonna do? I don't know how you pick and choose that. We tried that before.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't know.
With the
I know in-
revolving loan.
I know the article that was in the Dubuque paper for the Dubuque site said that they were going to, they wanted to go out to the public to see what the public thought. Well, the public isn't gonna know what you can or can't do either.
I mean, I've read through pages and pages and pages of these documents, and it's still about as clear as murky mud.
Yeah, that one, the last column we got was long columns like this, and was there 10 pages, something like
Yeah.
that? I said, and I'm not a Philadelphia lawyer.
Well, and there were a lot of things that we couldn't use the money on. If they weren't very clear with what we could use it on, there was a lot of.
Well,
stuff
that's
that
what
was
I,
clear.
when I looked at it, it said, no,
Right.
yes.
Yeah,
And some of the stuff, I didn't even understand what the
Yeah.
wording was.
I think we'll all be back to Des Moines in August, and hopefully we'll sit in and maybe get some clarity. Maybe we'll just get to mud instead of murky mud. I don't know. But-
Well, there's gonna be some fine lines to say, well, what, we use it for this, now you're gonna ask for forgiveness, or you're gonna ask for permission, or what are you gonna do? If Appaloosa County used some for their jail, how did they do that?
But it specifically says in some of the paperwork that I've read, says not for infrastructure jails. Yeah, and yet there's another part down in the, deeper in the pages, it says you can use it for jail, so
Well,
it's a little bit
Or
of,
EOC,
Yeah,
or,
right.
emergency, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, the top headline said it's for safety. Well, certainly we have some items that could fall under the safety
right,
guidelines.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But what are they gonna approve? I just hate to think that we do these things and then they audit us and then they say, okay,
Pay it back.
this isn't, you didn't do this right.
With that for the jail, that has to be done either way.
Oh, yeah,
So,
Yes.
I mean, we're gonna pay for it or not, one way or the other.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't even consider that. I just go ahead and get it done.
Yeah.
Especially where it needs to be done now.
We just have to,
I think we're behind the eight ball right there. a little
we
bit.
just have to find out what the cost is and who's gonna do it. And
Mhm.
Bjorn's been working with Frank and the city and
Before the meeting.
haven't gotten any information yet. We're
Yeah.
just asking to send another email this morning to see if he could get some response, so.
Mhm.
But I mean, it's, I mean, it's time
Oh,
is now,
It makes us nervous, yes.
yeah. I don't want him filling this in without our conduit there, so.
Yeah, and it's not gonna cost us much to let these condos, even if we don't use it. It's there. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, anything else, Lisa?
Not that I can think of.
Okay,
Thank you.
next on the agenda, we have Marty Kudela, Jackson County Maintenance Supervisor.
Morning. I still think we should try this one that's here. What do you
Pardon
got?
me?
I'm sorry, I was just mumbling.
Why me?
Yeah.
Just working on the, whatever you want to call it over there in the sheriff's office. Friday, they shut the water off here. Thank God Bjorn was around, the toilet or the urinal was leaking. Monday, we spent a couple, 3 hours
What
going
was
through the whole,
leaking?
huh?
What was the?
The urinal wouldn't shut off.
Oh,
And then it flooded out into the hallway and luckily, I don't know, you did a technical fix on it, didn't you?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
With the hammer. That works. That's why it's up
So
front.
I came, I got a call, but by the time I got here, he had it fixed and Mark had most of it mopped up. But Monday, we spent about 3 hours cleaning all the screens and the sinks. All the tank toilets. We had to take all the flush on it or the water valves apart, clean them out because they were all plugged up. But I think we're back up running good now.
Okay, so I have a question
This
then.
project out here and they got mud in it, is that what you're telling me?
Well, every time, even if we shut the valve off down in the basement, we have that.
Yeah.
The line, the building's 62, 63 years old. It's probably got about that much crud in the inside of the water lines. And when you shut it off and then like that, it shakes some of it loose.
So is it okay to?
Hammer.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so did you flush out the drinking fountains too, Martin?
I think Mike did, yes. I think we went down in the basement in the janitor closet and let the water run for an hour or so. And then I think he went there just
Okay,
probably a
okay.
little bit.
That's all. Somebody asked me that.
I know.
I was.
Did the test come back okay?
It did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we should be good here, you think?
I talked to Jeff Bodenhofer yesterday and I asked that question. He said they had 2 tests come back negative and it was okay to drink the water.
Okay. Well, we got filters on ours now, so that I think helps a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, I would think so, yes.
Okay. Other than that,
How's it coming over at Sheriff's Office, by the way? Are we?
it's a slow process. Just because, and I'm not bitching or nothing, but like the door frame didn't have a striker plate in it, so I had to fix that. And then to make it fit the wall or the wall fit it, I had to go with 2x4s, 1/4 inch plywood, 3/8 sheetrock. It didn't have no brackets to hold it on. It's just a frame, so I had to make them to hold the frame in spot. And then the glass that we're trying to use, because it's good glass, as we know, because we use it there. But I had to make the wall match the glass and then put it right up next to the air conditioner. And when you put this stuff in, you gotta slide it in behind the door frame. Well, I couldn't do that because the air conditioner was there. So I had to put that on first and then, but I'm on the go now. I hopefully by the weekend.
So the shield, the glass is up on the.
No,
counter?
no, that'll be the last thing that goes up after I get it all done money, but the frame is made, and painted, everything. Once I get done mudding it, a day and it'll be done. But we still, because the door don't have a doorknob in, so I gotta get a doorknob. I've been trying to find the doorknob here that we can use, but I'm not having much luck, so we might have to buy a doorknob. And I don't know if you want to match the doorknobs like this, or if we, what, I don't know what kind of I think he's getting a.
Well, let's talk, I was just gonna say, let's talk about this. Bjorn had the company come down and I'll let him speak about that. Go ahead, Bjorn.
Yeah, we had, Mike Rittmeyer come down, CMD does the door access cards. He looked at. Well, he didn't have anything to look at because it wasn't built yet, but we told him what we were gonna do. We can put a strike in there. We'll have to buy another two-door panel though, because. They're full over there. They have maxed out everything just like we have here. So they'd have to run some cabling back there to where the restroom area is and office part of the sheriff's office, I guess you call it. And then we would have to put a strike in the door frame. Kind of like we have, it'd be similar to like the mailroom. Where the door handle would bypass it, so you wouldn't have to have a push to exit button for the office staff, but we talked about having a button for Karen and Kim. So they can, if somebody's coming in, they need to get through the office, they can push the button to unlock it. Not sure if that's something we want to put money into for 2 years or not, but
What was the cost?
I don't have it right on me.
So this 2-panel thing, it is gonna go over there though. It's not tied into the courthouse system where
Correct.
we can put a 4-panel in and take care of our other
No,
issue.
because it has to be wired directly to that box.
2,000.
Yeah, I can find it here. but-
Yeah, I was thinking, so when do you need to know that? Or you don't need to? know?
I don't think I need to know that because I think they'll just cut the frame and put it in, right?
We may have to cut it, but yeah,
Okay.
either way, it'd be after the door. I mean, once the door is installed, it'd be fine.
But you had said that maybe by this weekend it'd be done, but yet you're gonna be gone.
Well, once I get done today, I won't have much left. And then a couple hours a day is all I can do because I'm mudding it. And I should be
But
here.
according to your request, you're done at 10 o'clock this morning.
Right, and then I will be back Thursday and Friday, and I should be all but done with it. Cause it won't take long once I'm done, once I get it built. It's just mudding, and 40 minutes I can have it mudded, it won't take long. And let me ask you this while I'm thinking of, so I don't forget. On the weekends, can somebody come in and one of my guys come in and water the flowers, because this weekend we lost one. Can somebody, is it okay if somebody stops by and pours water in that? Do you have a problem with that? Huh?
Is the outside spigot on?
Oh, it's always on, but you just gotta have a wrench to turn it on.
Doesn't bother me.
Well, I just wanna make sure, because one of the flowers,
Somebody's willing to drive by and.
yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
I think between the three of us, one of us will.
I mean, we're not gonna punch in for an hour to water flowers, are we?
It'd be two, wouldn't it?
Probably.
Okay.
Oh,
Anyway. I hate to see them flower die, because they were like $30 up.
So, yeah, we're talking about the straight plate thing here. So do we know what it would cost? You needed
It's
another,
2,800.
Yeah, about $2,800 is what they gave us for an estimate on that door.
and that is just to access that for with the fob?
Correct.
Yes.
And they requested that?
Brent had he wanted something similar to the outside door, so no,
We can't lose that.
does he know how much it costs?
I sent it to him and I have not gotten order it please or any of that yet. I don't know if he was gonna bring it to you guys or what the plan was.
So there is a fob on the outside door.
There is.
So can that be moved inside and put a regular key on the outside? We get there in the morning, we unlock the outside door, and then to get on the inside, we can fob it to get.
Does the outside door have a key?
Yeah,
Okay.
yep, yes.
I mean, we did that here, but that's,
It's cut out with the strike, so I don't know how that would work on the frame. Since the strike is there currently. You know what I mean? We cut out the frame already.
I'm looking at it, I can't answer that either.
Okay, so I'm confused. Sorry. So when you get done, if you put a handle in.
Yeah.
You'll need a key to go into the office?
Either or somebody let you in, one or the other,
If it wants it locked.
Well,
if they want it locked, and which I think they do.
isn't there somebody in the office 24/7, or is that just the other part?
Well, I think you don't have to do it from 8 to 4.
Yeah, just for public.
Yeah, just for the public, you know,
Because at night, there's nobody in that office. They're in the jail. part.
and I
They're
can't
not
speak for the
outside.
sheriff, but how many people other than the deputies would go back there? Because right now, everybody comes to the counter the way it is, you know, and I shouldn't be saying that, but
They don't have to go through that door. Nobody.
I
goes-
think
think
we
the
need
only
to,
time
I
we
think
do is
we
for
need to discuss
visitation.
it with Brent.
Yeah.
I think just for visitation, I think they do have people on those nights. I think
no, they go around,
Yeah,
they go around
oh, they
back.
do go around back.
Yeah,
Oh,
to the jail gate.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Oh,
this is just, I might be speaking out of turn. I think it's just for the deputies to go in and out. And if somebody wants to come in and talk to a deputy, to let them in. That was my understanding. I could be wrong.
Well, I just think we need to talk to Brent and make sure that the expense is worth it.
I'd be more inclined to say, how much is the button instead of the fob? You know, can we do the button without the fob?
Yeah, somebody would always have to access them in
Oh,
though,
somebody's there during
But it-
working hours, but.
but nighttime, nobody's gonna be there to push the button.
Oh. Yeah.
Well, then
They still
just have a key, have the deputies have a key to it.
Yeah.
Well, they should anyway.
Yeah. I don't know. That would be up to him. I think if you tell him that, I think he would be more than understanding
I
on
just
that.
don't know how much convenience we need here. Hopefully we get something better than that. 2 years and, a key can be used for X amount of time. Unless we can move the outside fob in and use a key to get.
And at
in
this
that.
point, we don't know what we're gonna do with that building when we're done
mm-mm.
with the jail. If we're gonna tear it down for parking or what we're gonna do with it. We haven't made a decision on that. I wouldn't do anything till we talk to Brent.
Yeah.
Other than
I-
finish what you're doing now.
Yeah, I already got the striker in the striker plate in there, but I have no doorknob on it, and I will not put a doorknob on until we know what we're doing for sure. Okay,
That'll be fine.
but I will dig to see if I
Either way, it's
know.
gonna need a doorknob, right?
Well, I would think, yeah,
That you could do one like the mailroom.
yeah, that's what I will. I'll dig, because I'm pretty sure somewhere in this building I have a doorknob instead of spending $600 for a doorknob.
There could be 6 or 7 of them in the garage over there.
Where are you getting your door now?
If you've been over there lately, pal, go look at that.
Yeah.
It's been clean.
Where are you getting your door knobs? They cost that much.
Well, they're commercial, they're like, I can't think of the lady's name.
Oh, she came here from Clinton.
Yeah,
Oh, her.
yeah,
Oh,
it's
plus.
Dubuque out of, the place, she used to work for the place in Dubuque,
Mhm,
but now she's in Davenport or Clinton.
mhm.
And I don't think, they're like $300, you know.
Still sounds high.
Well, it is, but what is it? You know, the door is 1,200. The door and frame is 1,200 to buy one. You know,
Why did we have to buy a door?
we put it in Arlene's, well, she bought it, but
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
I was gonna say, if you're ordering that access card, you might as well get two of them too.
Okay, I have a couple questions for you, Marty.
Yes.
I've been,
We have bids
oh
to
yeah,
open.
we have to open the bids, do those.
So, okay, so we have bids to open. These are bids for,
Concrete.
Concrete at the Andrew Jackson Care.
okay,
I contacted 6 people, I got 2 bids back, and the one guy I had to remind him about 4 times. Yeah,
So we're talking in about 5 or 6 different areas and approximately 16, 17 yards. Is that right?
correct. Tear out and replace.
okay, so this is from Cosel Construction. Looks like we have various things that we're going to do, but his net bid is for $12,537. This bid is from Wagner Concrete. His net bid is $8,250.
And did you give them an RFP basically, or they know exactly what they're bidding the same thing and the same amount and where at and?
I went up with both of them, I painted, outlined everything we want to remove and poured.
And it's documented.
I don't know about that, but What we'll do is
It's
we'll, go-
documented, yeah, this is what we want done. you know.
Will you-
A
will you
drawing of
find-
some kind maybe, or
what's that?
maybe a drawing or something to that effect.
I just took them through it and showed it, and if the square yardage adds up to what we have somewhere, I got
You
that.
already drawn.
So this is $6 a square foot, approximately 1,375 square feet.
1,300.
175.
1,375 square feet. So this is, what he says here is sidewalks, remove, replace. Does that include the backfill?
Now,
and
which one,
paving?
Yeah.
which one of them
This
was
would
that?
be Wagner concrete. Okay,
I will make sure, but when I went through that, I said yes.
And that was the 1,375 square feet.
right, for 8,250. This does include some backfill and seed. Watering to be done by, okay. Salt for 30 days of pour. It looks like this is for 1,393 square feet. 1,393, this is from Causal Construction. Approximately 20 yards of concrete. And this is the bid for $12,537.
So if I'm figuring right, we're still figuring 80 feet a yard, is that correct? Ain't that what we're at most of the time?
Say that again.
80 square feet a yard, is that what we're normally figuring that anyway? Nothing has changed here in the last 50 years.
I didn't catch what you're saying.
80 square feet to a yard at 4 inches.
Oh, I think it's 81, isn't it?
9 times 9 or 8 by 10.
I have no idea.
Anyone?
It's 81.
That's pretty close to 80.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
That's 17 yards. That's about, so they're both been about the same thing.
Yeah, like I said, I took the spray paint up there and painted everything that,
And did they indicate to you any kind of a time frame that
No.
this can be completed?
no. Neither one of them did.
And have we worked with both of these?
Yeah,
Well, Casey did this out here.
they both do good work.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think I ever had Mike pour anything around here, but I've seen a lot of his work that he's done.
He does a good job.
I agree. And I think Chuck Fry's working with him now. And
With Wagner?
yeah, and then there another kid that worked for Weber. Him and his brother worked together for a while, and then they kind of split. I can't think of his name right now. But all these guys have years and years of concrete work.
Well, I'll tell you, we've been working on this or trying to get somebody to do it for 2 years. And I think that 82 is a reasonable bid, to be honest. And
I agree.
I think we should move forward.
So do you have a motion?
I would make a motion to go with the low bid of Wagner to proceed with the,
And I will double check on this, before we give them the go ahead, I will make sure that we're comparing beans to beans or
Yeah,
oranges. to
'cause
well, they're
oranges.
both in the same square foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
But I just want to make sure he didn't accidentally forget something, because this is the second time he bid it, both of these.
And just include this little patch up there, we put the new tank in that we never
Correct.
had
And
done.
a sidewalk to the tank.
Yeah.
I hadn't put that in there.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Yeah. I would like it done this year yet, though.
Well, I'm sure it would be. And done, and before November.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Aye.
I will check on him. If you okay his bid, I will contact him today, see if he can give us a timeline to when he's gonna do it.
Because we're gonna have to give them some notice out there. We just can't drive in there and start breaking out sidewalks with the individuals they got walking around.
Right.
Okay,
So
okay, go ahead.
the bushes.
They're on the list.
Okay,
As soon as I get this done out here, then I will do that.
my question is, why exactly are we removing the bushes?
Somebody
thought that-
requested it.
I thought the bushes were dying. This is like a year ago, right? We talked about this like a year ago. And it looked to me like the bushes were dying.
And then all of a sudden they come back.
Well, I was just telling Lisa that the bushes at Squires Manor looked terrible.
Uh-huh.
They cut them all back down and now they're refurbishing and they're beautiful.
Okay,
I'm not sure we need to remove them. I just think maybe we should cut them down and
you,
let them try it again.
Don't trim them, don't
Jump.
cut 'em.
huh?
Leave some there, don't cut them off the ground.
No.
You know,
they-
we've
they
done that
left
before.
about this much
Okay.
at Squires Manor,
They let that much of,
about this much.
if you remember, we did that once before to them. Remember that? And everybody get,
Actually, I don't remember.
Okay.
Sorry.
yeah, and you got about 10, 15 phone calls why we butchered them bushes, and then they grow back good, yeah. I was just, me and Lisa was talking one day.
Yeah.
And then I believe we talked to Mike and we said, get them out of there.
So my point is, I mean, are they there for? I guess to make it look better? Is it the right question? I don't know that
I
they
would
do
say
that. And
yes.
as far as parking, that parking lot's pretty tight. And if I could move up another 3 foot to park, it would give more room for each one of us.
I
on
don't
the-
think you'd be able to do that because the lights are still there.
Yeah, no, but that's in a couple spots.
Yeah.
You know, and do people walk through there
Walk through the,
where the bushes are?
No,
no, that I'm aware of.
no. I mean, basically, it's the stopping point to the parking lot. When you hit the bushes, you've gone far
Yeah,
enough.
I get it.
Yeah. I honestly thought they were dying. I mean, I did. Last year, they looked horrible.
I ain't so sure the fertilizer guy, when he fertilized the lawn, didn't spray them too, because they really all of a sudden come alive. But like, I'll agree with her 100%, they were all but dead.
Yeah.
You tell me what you want, it'll be next week before I get at it, discuss it, if you want them trimmed, whatever. You tell me what you want and that's what we'll do.
Okay, and Larry has been saying that you were building some kind of a device.
So
dig
pull them out,
Okay. Why didn't you just rent one?
because you can't really, that is mine. I built it, I brought it in to make sure it would fit on the skid loader. That's all I did. It's for my skid loader at home, and I just wanted to make sure it fit on my skid loader. Because to wrap a chain around them, pull them out would have been impossible. All right? And that's what I'm gonna do. I was gonna use it for that.
Yeah.
I tried to rent one. They don't rent them anywhere now. I called Dave Gassers. They do not rent that stuff.
Okay, so what I use when I do those, and I've done a lot of them around McDonald's, a mini excavator with a thumb,
Well, yeah,
and pick them up and put them in your truck. And
I agree.
Slick and fast, and it's affordable.
Well, hopefully, we don't need to do this, what I'm
No.
hearing. So we've kind of changed our mind with the gazebo. I think the guys have power washed it and cleaned it up, and
and when it dries out, that they're gonna, we have,
they're gonna stain
Stain
it.
it,
Yeah,
yes.
so we're in the process of that. I think the guys.
Well, I thought it was great last week when I was here. They had the day before, but when I was here, apparently they must have a reading program at the library. And there's been 15 or 20 little kids, little boys and girls that were sitting around the gazebo, and they had 2 adult women
Mhm.
that were reading to them. And I just thought it was wonderful.
Well, then it's well worth our efforts to do what we're doing then.
So,
So our
There's a class the day before too, doing.
county
yoga or
maintenance guy,
something.
he can take the shrub shredder and just kind of knock them down too. We don't need you to do that. right?
what's that?
The trim-
Trim.
I think I would have Reagan do that. This guy's 73 years old. I don't know if I want him doing that or not. It's up to you.
I want to call Squires Manor and talk to Nathan to
Yeah.
see who
Who did
did
that?
it.
Yeah.
And maybe we could get some information from him
Sounds
as to how they cut it off
I
and,
think there's some formula, you can only cut, is it a half or a third or 2/3 or something of the bush?
well, their bushes were almost to the top of the wrought iron fence. And they cut them, I swear they cut them to about this size.
I think Sisler
And now
cut
they're
them
all
to the
green.
ground
I
one
was
time.
gonna say-
I think he cut them to the ground, they come back. I really do, because I remember, I don't know which board member it was, but when they said they got 75 phone calls wanting to know why they butchered them bushes like that.
Maintenance.
huh?
Well, I think Mike is not here this week, Mike Reagan, so
Yeah.
hopefully maybe next
Yeah.
week and you and you can coordinate.
Find that out, let
I'll
us
find
know,
it out.
and
I
we'll
will
go
talk
from
to
there.
them.
Yeah.
See what I can
Anything
find
else?
out. No.
All right,
Are you gonna be gone at 10?
I'd like to. All right,
Thanks, Marty.
You can send Nathan and he's, oh, no. Luann's first, then Nathan, but he can come in.
Morning.
Good morning. Business today, my business is the calendar for the week. From 11:30 to 1 o'clock today is the preteen suicide workshop by Zoom for any of you that wanted to attend that. 6 p.m. tonight is conservation board meeting in Sebula, more or less, for Larry. It starts at the Papke property
At 6.
at 6 o'clock and then moves to South Sebula Lakes.
Would they not tape that then, Larry, you don't think, or? They would that south of Bill?
No, only 2.
You can ask Nathan, he'll be in here next.
Oh, recorded. Tape recorded. Oh, I don't know, maybe they will. I guess sometimes
Did they tape recorded, have they tape recorded meetings in the past?
they have.
Oh, so I
When
don't
they're
know.
out
So we
here,
haven't- So we
Well,
haven't
with
had
Zoom
any
is
for quite a
different.
while.
Yeah. Sorry, what?
We haven't had any for a while. I
in
mean, we're all
remote
on Zoom.
location, yeah.
Right, right.
So,
Also at 6 o'clock tonight is the Save Your Town webinar, create events people will attend by Zoom for any of you that want to attend that. Wednesday, June 16th at 10 a.m. is a Mississippi Valley Workforce joint meeting with, is it Serpic? Is that how you pronounce that? From,
Southeast Iowa Regional Planning Council.
okay, thank you. And that meeting will be in West Burlington for Jack. I think it also is available by Zoom. And at noon on Wednesday until 3 o'clock is Eagle View's 1-year anniversary celebration in Bettendorf, which Jack will be in Burlington, so he will not be able to go to that.
Also on Wednesday, if anybody's interested, it's the annual Farm Bureau meeting and we're usually invited to that. I have a chamber representative bill.
I haven't gotten an invitation. Usually I do.
I think it was just in the paper.
Oh.
I didn't
Usually we get a
anything-
letter from them.
Yeah, I
I
didn't get
haven't
anything
seen.
formal either, but
and that's tomorrow night,
Wednesday.
Wednesday. Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That would be tomorrow.
Is it at?
That's usually my problem.
At
Well,
the
you
building
know-
or fairgrounds?
I think it might be at Timber Center. I'm not sure, to be honest.
I can do some checking.
Okay.
Okay, because I haven't got an invitation either, but I'll see if I can find out. Okay, Thursday, June 17th at 6 p.m. is Limestone Bluffs RC&D meeting by Zoom for Jack. Friday, June 18th. There wasn't anything on there when I put the agenda together. Now there are 2 meetings that day. The first one is at 9 a.m. for the Watershed Management Authority's candidate review for the coordinator position. And that's by Zoom for Larry. And at 10:30 is the Mississippi Valley rescheduled executive meeting from last night, also by Zoom for Jack. Monday, June 21st at 7:30 a.m. is Early Childhood Iowa Executive Committee, probably by Zoom for Jack. At 10 o'clock is Waste Authority of Jackson County for Mike. At 3 p.m. that Monday is the Regional Governing Board meeting for Jack. And at 7 that evening is Together We Build, also for Jack. Our next regular meeting will be Tuesday, June 22nd at 9 a.m. That's all the business I have for you today.
Okay. Thanks, Luann. Want to tell Nathan we're ready for him?
Yep.
Thanks. Good morning.
How are you?
Hey. Camping season full swing, huh?
It is full swing, a little slower than last year. I don't know what the reason is. Sabila's been full on the weekends. Spruce hasn't. It's been, 45.
Well, that new one up there looks like it's.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's just a desire for camping is people want year-long sites where they just pay and don't have to move their camper or. So we're probably just attracting a different crowd, I would say,
Yeah.
so. And. I'd say one of the reasons this year you got graduation parties and. The sports are back up and going, so parents aren't available. I think we'll start seeing our campgrounds pick up immensely here soon, I would say, so.
And it's been really hot too, and hot is not fun camping either.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's not like we're sitting empty or anything, we're still bringing in, 40 plus campers and 30, Sabila's full every weekend still, so that's all given. Our campground attracts down there, so 38 campsites and almost there, at least 4 days a week, it almost always is pretty darn close to full, so. Those two are our busy areas and still keeping us busy, even if we're not busy. With campers, we gotta keep them up and that takes a lot of time. Just for you guys' information, we're board meeting tonight with our conservation board. A gentleman wants to look at a land trade at Prairie Creek. I don't think our board is super interested. But if you guys have questions on that, it's a 7-acre piece to the east side of Prairie Creek, or Papke. Did I say Prairie Creek?
Yeah.
It's Papke area. I get those P names mixed up for some reason in my head.
That's okay.
He wants to trade for our building site there, is 7 acres. Doesn't sound like as much. We're gonna go walk around it. I haven't actually been on it. He thinks that we have a mess there with our building site, which we kind of do, but I also have it lined up for a lot of that mess to be cleaned up or free or. So we'll see what the board wants to do there, but we're kind of just giving them a little time of day. Larry has some of the stuff there for you. I don't think it's the best deal in the world. Actually, I think it's a poor deal, but that's just my opinion, so.
Well, we certainly need your opinion.
But that's one thing we kind of got on the docket.
It's the most level spot on the property, and if you're doing anything with it, you would want to use that area.
Yeah, and it's our only access for that one side. There's a big ditch that runs through the property and it's our only really good access for that one side of our property is to go through the building site. I don't think we want to give that up. But I guess we'll see what he has to say and see what his property looks like tonight. I don't think it's,
The second one, the one down in the right-hand corner.
we'll see. I don't know.
That's the-
That's
that's what he
something I'm
wants to
new to is the
trade
land trade
for
thing.
what's
I
on
don't
the
know
other.
how that works. And I don't know if Daryl ever even did one before me. I don't foresee us going with it anyway.
And we just did one last year for Prairie Creek with,
This is where the swamp would be right down to.
I mean, that little bit on either side of the road.
Okay,
It's like a half acre.
But you didn't do anything with it.
I haven't heard anything
We
on that.
traded. Because part of their land, the road,
Nothing formally was done.
I don't think anything has happened with that. I
I
know
don't think anything formally was done as far as,
his lawyers were supposed to get back with us and sit down with us, and I haven't heard anything on that. That's kind of just fell off. I don't know what's going on, why his lawyers haven't gotten back to get that, to talk about that one.
I don't think.
Are you
anything
talking
formally
that-
got done with that, because.
I'm drawing a blank on the name. Property.
So-
Part of the
easy.
leasing property.
So
Yeah.
this pond is still the one that we're doing work on and it's,
Yeah.
then I don't understand why we want to give up that
No,
building site that close to that pond.
it's the only good way for people to walk down, and
Yeah.
I think it'd be a spot we'd want to build a parking lot or
And
something
there be
eventually.
some ties to that somehow, because it was a donated piece and
Yeah, there might be, I haven't looked into how his
parameters of that.
stuff were, but I guess we're gonna give them some time and talk and.
You
look
can
at it.
always listen.
Yeah, listen to it. The other thing we're gonna discuss tonight, I don't know if Larry's still dealing on this one. And you probably know the property, the Jackson, Delbert Jackson on the north side of Bellevue. He owns 62 acres or something like that, I believe it is. He wants to donate his ground to be a park. I didn't want the house. I don't think the county wants anything to deal with the house. So there's 2 acres that he is surveying out, the house will never come with it, but we're gonna discuss whether we want it or not. He's putting some restrictions on it, on what we can and can't do if we ever were to get it. I think it could be a good thing for the city of Bellevue. It's just like a Prairie Creek. There'd be a nice trail, maybe an overlook or something like another, but it's more work for our staff, and I don't know. You look at what we got going on now, when we just a week and a half ago, we hadn't gotten to some of the stuff we really needed to this spring, and is that something we want to take on? So I guess that's,
Can you build your big building there?
I'm working on him to see if he'll let us. He wants to donate a shed with it. There is a shed there, but I don't, he's old enough, he hasn't been able to walk down with me to actually get in it and see what the shed is. I haven't been
Is there
inside
any
it.
place on that where you could build though? I mean, it is literally.
Well,
steep.
maybe as you enter, Larry, when you were there
Bottom,
before, there's a
yeah.
pond on the left. We filled that in with this new subdivision. It's all, there's no longer a pond there.
Oh,
There'd be a flat there, maybe right as you enter that you could build. I don't know.
And you'd have to go to Jacobson Drive to get to it. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
this, I don't know if the neighborhood would be too happy with us pulling
Couldn't you
equipment.
access that from Sebring Ridge?
It touches a Sebring property on the back side and the heater on the north, but you can't get to it from Sebring Ridge without going through somebody's farm. It's mostly timber. It's already, I believe, in timber reserve, so it's not got tax dollars coming out.
It would be quite the overlook, I would say that, because it's facing
Yeah.
the river and it's,
Yeah, I could see a trail going up and then overlook people from Bellevue. It actually would connect to that city paved trail.
Yeah.
It would come behind those houses there to connect, actually property would connect right where the city trail or that.
so could we take the property and then leave Bellevue take care of it?
Well, that's a discussion. He is not a fan of Bellevue.
Oh,
That's why he wants to go with us. He
okay.
thinks Bellevue doesn't, he doesn't trust the city with anything. He trusts the county more than he trusts the city with a donation. He thinks the city might subdivide it or do something fine after he passes away that he doesn't want to see done with the property.
So we appreciate you.
Yeah, he likes us. He's still thinking he might go through a conservation easement with like Heritage Foundation to put some kind of protection on it. So we wouldn't do that too.
No, that's fair.
What we really gotta figure out is what he wants and doesn't want. I don't wanna take something and do something with it that he didn't ever wanna see done. And, but we also don't wanna do things that we just aren't feasible.
But it's
or-
like you indicated earlier, you have so much land that you're looking after now
Yep,
with the staff that you have, which is not very many.
yep,
And just add another,
another thing to our,
how many acres?
it would. So after he removes the house, and he's actually gonna remove some of it for that new housing development on the north side of Bellevue. I think it's gonna come out to be like 46 acres or something now, is the last thing. And that's give or take, he's still having a survey done on what it would be, so it's not a huge piece. I foresee if we were to take it, mowing a trail every couple weeks, maybe. At this time with our staff is about all we can handle, so. He wants,
I've never walked it, I guess. I don't know how steep it is.
It's steep.
Fairly steep, yeah.
There's a access road
goes
up
up
to the top.
Well, it's called them logging trails, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
logging
better
road.
word for it, yeah, because it's even steep to walk up there. I mean,
Yeah, not as steep as our Richardson timber access by any means.
You just have to build your path like at Effigy Mounds. Going back
Zigzag
and
it,
forth
go,
like that.
go path up the hill.
It would be nice, you know. Yeah, I guess it's like something we just talk about, see where it comes.
Sure.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. I know I sent it out. I have a list of things that he is willing to maybe see on there in the future, if he does put a conservation easement, things he's not. One thing I want removed, he wants us to plow the snow on the road every time it snows in the winter, and that's just not feasible for our staff. By the time we plow Hurstville Center and hop around our few places, we're not gonna have time. And that's our downtime of year anyway for our staff. They're trying to get rid of comp time and other stuff, so. there'd be things we gotta figure out with him yet on some of that, but he's willing. I just threw a list. He's willing to let us build a shelter if we wanted one like Prairie Creek out there. Ponds or any of that stuff.
Okay, I can see something like a shelter, because now you're bringing income in with it.
Yeah,
That kind of offsets the labor to mow.
But you have to measure the pros and cons.
yeah, it still takes a lot of staff time and
Yeah.
you gotta get there. Prairie Creek Shelter, Caitlin's there cleaning it at 2 o'clock in the morning this weekend each time after a shift, just because they're not out of there when she's dealing with other stuff. So we got a person, so you got those pros and cons with that, but at least you guys are kind of aware. He doesn't want to see a campground there, other than he is willing to have like a youth group campsite or Boy Scout camp area. I don't know, which is like a pack-in tent site or
Sure.
something.
That'd be nice up on top of that hill.
Something like
I mean, you can
that,
see
so.
the
Another thing he wanted was a butterfly garden. I don't think that's something our staff is gonna weed a garden. Now, if I can talk him to a prairie pollinator plot for, that would be butterflies, birds. That's the stuff we're doing on our areas anyway, where we just burn it every few years to keep the invasives out.
That makes
That
sense.
makes sense to me.
I think that's what they're
So-
planning down by the Clinton engines.
Hmm.
Is a prairie grass thing for bees and butterflies.
Okay, well, if they need some seed, I have some extra pheasants forever donated if you talk to them.
Well, this is, I know Phil Jen, I think they got the seed
Okay,
and they have to just guarantee that they'll leave it for so many years.
yeah,
But the city, we're still waiting for the cities to give us their seal of approval to do it.
okay.
I
Another
think that's
thing.
about 7 acres.
Update on, you guys probably wondering, Jeannie's been out spraying thistles and teasel and some of that stuff, multiple rows in the road ditches the last few weeks now. things
Mustard
are-
stuff.
You can start seeing it. So if you guys are out and you see it, let us know, because
So actually, I would like to know some roads or something, maybe you can send an email out where some stuff that she has sprayed. I've noticed there's a lot more mowing going on by local residents and landowners. They're really,
okay, I know she sprayed some right above your house the other day. She said it was steep. On that road, it must be a pasture that was full of thistles right next to the road. So and this is her thought, Ross and I agree with her. She wants our county roads to look better.
Yeah.
If she's getting complaints about thistles,
well, that was our whole
So-
point when we started this program. and-
Absolutely.
so she's been working at, I know the last few days she's been on Bellevue Cascade Road working that section. But we're not driving every county road, so if you guys are out and about, or even if you talk to somebody. that
Well,
sees
you know, like
something.
some of these, and it's too bad that some of these are just gonna have to be at some point cut.
Yeah,
They're gonna have to be cut down. I mean, it's a known fact that a lot of these fence lines are not even being maintained, so the
Yeah.
fence lines are growing up in trees and
yep.
they don't, if the landowners don't care about their fences, they aren't gonna care about the trees that grow.
No, they're not.
No, and I think right now, I mean, thistles and that stuff this is the time she has to get after
Yeah,
those.
yeah.
The woody stuff may be more winter projects.
Sure.
And then the next week or two, she might be behind on thistles and where they're already seeding, we're losing the game anyway, so. But.
I was
she's-
gonna ask about that. I appreciate that she's out there doing that.
Yeah, so
That's
she's
great.
starting to take some of that on. She's noticing, she's taking the initiative. She must be marking it down when she sees things, because I haven't even told her, because I'm not, I don't pay attention to it as I drive around anymore. I
Well, you
just-
see a lot when you go 80 miles on a tractor at 11 miles an hour.
Yeah, yeah, you would, yeah,
I see a
That wing out
lot.
on the side, you could've sprayed
I see a
it.
lot of cracks in the road. I know that.
yeah, you feel every bump in the road when you're on that too. But yeah, so she's starting to, and if you guys see stuff, just, I don't know if you can. And maybe that's where we can work with GI. I mentioned that to her this morning. How do we track what she's done? And not, maybe that's where we work with a new GIS.
Yeah.
And we
That'd be
make some,
great.
because these sites are gonna have to come back. Year after year to get them back under control, I think.
Yeah.
The thistles, there's just so much seed back there, I don't know, and she's gonna miss some, we can't get them all.
I'm sure Christina would do that.
Yeah, so I don't know if there'd be a way to, map it or something.
Oh, I'm sure there
I don't
Just visit with
I would think so.
Yeah, so that's something we might wanna,
I don't know, yeah, the gizmo thing you do. I mean, that's for pinpointing an exact location, but you might have a start and stop
Yeah,
Plank on a road with it or something.
Well, you can come pretty close with Beacon though, if you're on somebody's address and.
and her with law enforcement, she has a smartphone. I wonder if she could just make waypoints on her phone
Oh,
to hand her. I should ask her. Do we have a way?
Just have her check with Christina and see what they could.
Yeah, that'd be a good question. We just brought that, I had just brought that up this morning. I stopped up at the shop and she was loading up some tanks to go spray and I wanted to, like, how are you tracking this? She goes, well, I fill out my form, but she goes, I don't know how we're gonna keep track from year to year what's been getting or not, so. So,
I
yeah,
don't know what
those,
Clinton County does either. I know they have a fairly aggressive spraying plan, but
yeah,
I think that's through secondary roads though.
yeah, Jones County does, there's two, but every county's different. Half of them are through conservation and half of them are through secondary roads. And she's still gonna have to work through secondary roads. When she sees stuff that needs mowed or something that we just don't have the equipment unless we
Sure.
rent
sure.
something for our skid loader, but. I think
That's just
that'd be
all.
something to put on the list eventually, maybe get a protective front door for that and mow it or so. But that's probably about nothing real new. Bridge. I have a preliminary order for the bridge for the Hurstville Trail. And I should have the numbers ready, but off the top of my head, it was. So that pricing kept going up and up with steel prices and I couldn't wait. I'm still waiting for Alex's final approval for sign off on it, but I think it was 39,000 for the 60 footer. For that bridge there on that trail. And we're talking to Schrader, he's gonna be in that 70, right around that 75,000 range. To do the pour of the deck and set the pilings and stuff, so that'll use up that $200,000 grant. We needed to use up by the end of the year, so that's one thing that's at least kind of moving. Midwest Contract Creek has the other part of the trail, so at least that one section's gonna some point this
Down
We
the
still
intersection.
have a spot in between that's not connected though, is that correct?
Yeah, there's gonna be a short little stretch, but I think the way we wrote Midwest Concrete's thing, we can. By their bid price, we can just extend and connect with their price per yard, I think that's the way it
So
was
is there,
written.
is there enough right of way for there on the roadside for us to do something like that with a path of some kind or no?
On between the two sections. We'll have to cross the road to the, is that the east side
You would
there?
have to cross it.
Yep, talking to Alex. Our problem with the west side is there's probably enough room. But we'd have to get a construction easement signed off because it's not wide enough to build and we'd have to build a very expensive retaining wall right at the edge of it. Sounds like it's probably not gonna be the most cost effective way to do it. If that neighbor isn't willing to work with us, I don't think he's gonna be willing to work with us.
I
So,
think it was cheaper to do the
That's a shame too.
yeah.
walk through underneath the highway.
Yeah, it's still gonna be expensive. Got some grants out there. We'll see. Probably won't get them. Alex's cost estimate for that middle section was $500,000. Just to connect the two. So it's not gonna be cheap at all. It's gonna probably take some time.
A lot of pancake breakfasts.
Yeah, yeah. Our friends group is awesome at raising money. That's one thing. They will build some money fast for it if we need to for match for
I
grants
just
and
often
stuff.
thought that there would be a way to go up along the fence line way over on the east by 61 and come down that.
That is our other option right now. I've looked at it and it's almost the same distance, a little longer, is there's a fence line we can go up and through. And I think that is I think we're at that point, we just gotta figure out.
Oh, with that, you wouldn't have to do the highway crossing.
No, and that's something,
That would be a safety factor there.
yeah, I don't know, I heard they were gonna talk about that highway crossing there and I haven't heard anything if they've discussed it. Secondary
They
roads,
Stop signs with flashing.
were they gonna do that?
Are
They're
they
gonna
gonna
put lights around the
So,
stop
I didn't
lights.
know if they were gonna slow the traffic down. It would be best for us, if it was a four-way stop with what we have to do, but. I don't know if that's something in the future. I haven't gotten over there and talked with him on that. I think there are options, go around that one landowner that doesn't want to work with us. You just got hillsides and it might be more expensive there too. I don't know. once Alex starts getting some time, he hasn't had much time. I haven't been trying to get him, hold of him and working with him on a few things. I just haven't, he hasn't had time. to
Well, it's
work with
construction
us.
season. If they're doing projects,
He's
probably-
busy.
Yeah.
Yep, so he's probably more of an expert on, I can honestly,
I just see the problem going underneath as a water issue also.
oh yeah,
You know,
I think it's gonna be a
liability
That
to me.
floods over
it's
there
gonna
a
be a
lot.
mosquito haven hole or.
Yeah.
I agree with him, Mike, I don't know if there's a great solution. The one, I mean, where we're at the corner, Alex says, well, we can cross the road there safely because you got visibility and if they. Put a stop sign for our bikes to stop and watch and go kind of thing. I don't know if that's a possibility, because that
Well, we
hillside.
talked about a four-way stop and. But when you go up the hill, that's where. you wanna
That's
have
where the
crossing.
problem lies, is where that. Hillside comes down from the VFW
Mhm.
road stops, so. Alex thinks the best solution is going under. I still question it, I don't know. I just. What the best solution is
Yeah.
there, so.
Well, if you get the rest of that into the marsh there, or what do you wanna call it,
Yeah,
to the interpretive center then.
at least we got something, we gotta connect them, it makes no sense to have trails to nowhere, so it's gonna have to be big grant money, is what it's gonna come down to, we're gonna.
Sure, well,
Have to find some grants, those DOT grants are very sought after, they're hard to get. But land and water contract, that might be something they're starting to fund that at a lot higher prices now. I think for conservation, there's gonna be a lot of money in the next 10 years, I foresee certain grants, I hope.
Dubuque County's talking big, they're talking. big
yeah, they
stuff.
are.
Yeah, they're planning on trying to pave their trail. So maybe there is, but sometimes it's hard to compete against the big
Well,
counties of the world where they got.
Yeah.
That might be our problem going forward, but I think it'll happen. And it just, at least we got the first step going on there, and we'll have some money sitting there ready for match, I think, after this section gets done. I think we'll have a little left from the Friends group and stuff.
As they see it progressing, people will jump on board and.
Yeah,
You know,
so, I think, talked to several other neighbors in that neighborhood. They're on board. They wanna see it,
I see,
so,
okay,
there's one there. I haven't talked to the guy across the road yet, but we have super wide easement and he's actually,
actually, I may have asked Larry this too once, but maybe you can tell me better. Who dredged that all out, all the way down to the Cody River?
I think our secondary roads guys did.
That really looks nice.
So that was probably stemmed from my mistake that
I'm guessing.
I asked them to look at it last year because of and when I pulled that board out and water back into that field, I asked them, could you look at that and see if we can make a solution? And then it was 2 weeks or 3 weeks after that, it was dug out. So they must have helped me out there. So I appreciate the
Looks
secondary.
good, and it makes sense that it should drain to the river, not in the Barnville.
Yep. So I couldn't believe that when I pulled that board, that a DOT design thing would ever be,
Well, it probably all silted in too, then.
that could be some, but there's,
That thing flooded enough times, it all went to the low spot, that any
Yeah.
extra dirt, that was probably all.
yeah, so, but there's also, we're still got an issue. I would like to pull it down for this trail build some more yet. And there's a tube that lays the wrong direction. So when I let water loose, it goes into, it'd be the Leahy field.
Mhm.
It lays at a wrong angle, so water goes through and it just, and his can't drain back. It just, it's kind of a poor design. I'm sure that's a state DOT design, because that marsh was designed and built by the DOT.
Yeah,
I never would have expected that with all their
they'll make
engineering.
them make a mistake, would they?
The boat ramp out there by here in town,
Yep,
they put it upriver. And they finally admitted that they thought the river went the other way. I'm like, okay, because you try to push your boat off of it and the water was just,
oh
and
geez,
there's enough current there, I mean, you had to fight it, and then trying to load it was just crazy.
yeah.
They
Speaking
did
of,
take it, they fixed it.
Speaking of ramps and accesses, I got the cores. With approval for doing work at Bridgeport finally.
Oh, great.
I don't have the state fund back. So we're kind of a step closer to at least kind of getting that at least patched up.
Yeah.
So waiting on the state on that one.
We had that conversation last night on our front porch.
Yeah,
About
so we got-
Jointerville.
I just got that Friday. I think I got that one back. So that one's a step closer. Got all the landowner or most of our landowner survey back from that thing. Some negative responses on our water access trail just because of trash and trespassing, which we respect. They don't know how we fix some of that, something we gotta discuss with the sheriff's department. Had few break-ins at a few of our accesses here in the last.
Well,
few
you know,
weeks.
this camera thing is getting a lot more easier and not
Yeah.
effective, and
So,
I mean, you can talk to your doorbell from 100 miles away. You can-
yeah, yeah, I think there's some things we gotta discuss before we really develop our trail like we were hoping, or. 'Cause we don't wanna, I don't wanna upset these landowners, they're the ones that see things that gotta let us know when they see them too. So that's one of our things that just happened. So I've been working with Brandon over there on a couple things to discuss and some possibilities. More because we just had some break-ins at a few accesses and stuff, so we gotta figure out how do we curb that, because once they start, you can't stop them if you don't catch them, so.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much a kind of in a nutshell what we got going on, nothing real fancy or new, so. I don't know if you guys have any questions for me.
Appreciate the report and appreciate the tour we could show Groveland.
And we'll plan on another tour.
Yeah, we'll have to try to figure out one later in the year where we can just get out. A couple of you mentioned you wanted to see some western part of the county areas and stuff, so we can definitely make time whenever you guys kind of slow down maybe too.
Sounds good.
So, but, all right.
Thanks a lot, Nisha.
Thanks, guys.
Good night.
Hey, Nate, like tonight when you're in remote location, that's not recorded, is it?
No, I don't know if there's a best or a good way to ever do that when we
On
do those
remote.
field ones. To try to take the best notes we can and put them in the board minutes. I don't know.
Yeah, as long as they're in the minutes, yeah, like.
Yeah,
we do
that's
now.
fine.
Yeah.
I appreciate getting them.
Yep, so I think, maybe something in the future with phones getting better, we can
Yeah.
figure something out, I don't know,
Yeah, you never know.
so, yeah, be a good way, so,
Okay.
but, thanks,
Yes,
guys.
sir. Okay. Is there any other business coming before the meeting today? Any reports on any of your boards or commissions?
We had interviews yesterday and all good candidates, so we're just gonna make our decision on Friday, so. I think. Yeah, really good. Really good interviews, so. we're pleased with that.
We had a workforce development meeting yesterday, and by the time the meeting was over, and the most important issue that we needed to discuss, there was not a quorum.
Mhm.
So that's why they're having a special meeting on Friday. It was really. They took a motion and a second, and then I looked at the participants and I said, you only got 3 actual voting board members on this call right now, or on this Zoom. And I said, you can't take action on it. You don't have a quorum. So then I tried to find Nick Huckleberry's. He was on the meeting, but then one of the things he said he said, I'm in my car, I hope you can hear me. And then he said something, and then apparently he must have gone off. Because, and I didn't have a cell phone number, and I looked in the phone book, I thought maybe the Bellevue number would be in there, but of course, half the people in the world anymore don't have a landline.
Right.
Yeah.
So they said, well, and she tried his cell phone and got a voicemail. So they had to call a special meeting for this Friday to take action on the one-stop, issuing the request for proposals for the one-stop operator.
Oh.
So anyway, that's the only thing I've had so far this week that I've full day tomorrow, in Muscat, in West Burlington, so hopefully we get some issues that we have with the financial part of our workforce development. They deal with, they're the financial people that we contracted with, and there are some issues that we have to delve into, so that's why some of us are going in person, because we need to sit across the table from them and get some answers, so.
Yeah. So if you're in Burlington, you got a little bit of time, go down Snake Alley.
Oh,
Snake Alley.
okay.
It zigzags back and forth down, and it's all brick. It is really neat. And I mean, back and forth probably 6-7 times, something like that.
Well, if there is no other business, I have a motion to adjourn,
So.
Second?
a motion and a second to adjourn, all those in favor?
uh,
We are having a work session